Hey there and welcome to my channel. In today's episode, we're gonna take a closer look at the Chevrolet Bel Air 1957, the quintessential 50s cruiser. Now, I know we've done a few American cars lately, and if I'm being honest with you, it's something of an addiction really. And with good reason, it doesn't get any better than this. Just look at these tail fins. How about that? This is exactly why I love these old American cars. They just don't make them like this anymore. You have all this chrome work going around the car, beautiful fins, gorgeous lines. This is what I call a proper automobile. Okay, so let's start off with some specifications. Body style was a two-door sedan. The top, you had a removable. You had a hardtop, which was also available. So if you didn't want a sunroof, then you didn't have to have it. But how cool is it that they even had a sunroof option back in the day? It was built from 1953 to 1957 and it was produced in the United States. GM had a very successful year in 1957. These cars were all the rage. Of course, the Ford Thunderbird came out in the same year and everyone knows how that one turned out. So talking about the styling, you can't talk about this car without mentioning those tail fins, right? If you look at them from the side view, they are absolutely massive. If you look at them from the rear, they almost look dainty. Well, almost, they still are pretty big. I mean, we're not dealing with a small car here by any means. The length of the car was 204.6 inches. The wheelbase was 122.5 inches and the width was 79.5 inches. So this thing was massive. Height was 54.5 inches tall. That was with the antenna up, so without the antenna it would be a little shorter than that. Curb weight was about 3,500 pounds, which wasn't terrible for the time period. The body was constructed out of a perimeter frame with an X-member and it was unibody construction. Front suspension was independent with coil springs. The rear was a live axle with semi-elliptical leaf springs, brakes were hydraulic and drum. Now tires were 8.0 by 14 white wall and the wheels were 14 by 6 inch steel wheels with full wheel covers. The fuel tank was a 20-gallon tank and the capacity of the trunk was 22 cubic feet, which is huge. You could fit a small person back there. Now the engines offered were a 265 cubic inch small block V8 rated at 180 horsepower. Then you had a 283 cubic inch small block V8. There was a high performance version of that engine that was rated at 210 horsepower, and then there was a special high performance version of that engine that was rated at 245 horsepower. Transmissions offered were a Powerglide automatic or a 3-speed manual. You could also get a 2-speed Powermatic, which was an automatic transmission. Rear axle ratios were to 0.56 or 3.36. Top speed of the car was 106 miles per hour. Awards and honors included Motor Trend Magazine Car of the Year. Safety features, seat belts were available, and for the time period that was about it. Seat belts weren't standard, but they were an option. This was definitely a luxury car. Base price started at $2,329. Where are they today? Well, according to Haggerty.com, the average value is around $32,000, which isn't bad. But if you have a convertible that's in excellent condition, you could get up to $140,000 for that vehicle. Now when it comes to fuel economy, well, it depends on what engine you got and what transmission you got. If you got the 180 horsepower V8 with the 2-speed Powermatic, then your miles per gallon was 14 city and 18 highway. Those numbers will change depending on the engine and transmission combination that you go with. So who bought this car? Well, typically someone who could afford one was a police officer, a taxi driver, a mobster, or if you were lucky enough, a rock star. Yeah, I said rock star. Let me explain. Remember the movie School of Rock? Well, Jack Black's character Dewey Finn in the movie was trying to buy a car. His buddy from high school, who was rich, gave him the money to buy the car and Dewey went out and bought a 1957 Chevy Bel Air. Unfortunately, he lost his rocker status after about a week and he lost the car. Hey, that's just a movie. In real life, rock stars owned these cars. A great example is the guitarist for the Rolling Stones, Keith Richards. He owned one of these beauties. He actually owned a 1957 Chevy Bel Air convertible. I bet that was a blast to drive around in. Oh, to be young and rich and own a classic car, good times. Well, it wasn't just rock stars that owned these cars. It was people from all walks of life. It was cops, businessmen, street racers. I mean, heck, everyone wanted one of these cars, and for good reason. Take a look at this interior. Look at this beauty. It was just a car that everyone loved. Look at this gauge cluster. It's a work of art. I mean, it really is. Everything about this car screams America. It screams freedom. It screams open road. And don't forget about that small block V8 under the hood. You could blow past anyone with ease. And speaking of blowing past people, if you're driving down the street and you see a cop, you better slow down. But not this guy. No, sir, not this guy. He's flooring it right past the cop. What's the first thing you think of when you think of a 1957 Chevy Bel Air? Is it that scene in Back to the Future where Marty and Doc Brown are trying to get the DeLorean to 88 miles per hour? Is it the song Little Deuce Coupe by the Beach Boys? Which I'll have playing right now. Is it American Graffiti? Or is it the opening scene in The Dukes of Hazzard where Bo and Luke are running from the cops in their General Lee? Whatever it is, this car is cemented in pop culture forever. And that's saying something considering how many great American cars there are out there. This car is a legend. It's a piece of history. It's a rolling work of art, and that's why I love it so much. That's why we feature these old American classics on our channel. They simply don't make them like this anymore. And if you're thinking about getting one of these for yourself, I say go for it. You won't regret it. Now, they are getting harder and harder to find in good condition, but when you do find one, you hit the motherlode. It's like striking gold. This is the kind of car that when you pull into a car show, you're gonna win first place every time. This is the kind of car that people are gonna stop you on the street to ask you about. People are gonna want to buy this car off you. That's how great of a car it is. This has been the host. We'll see you next time on our channel.